Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a video on something that is near and dear to my heart. It's changed my life when I experienced this. That's pretty huge for me. I mean, there's not a whole lot of things as you go through life that are just mind-blowing and change the way you look at everything. I've just gotten to a point where I'm so frustrated listening to people talk about these experiences and they have no idea what they're talking about. This is what I boil it down to. And first of all, you guys don't have to believe this because I wouldn't believe it either. I thought it was a bunch of mumbo jumbo until I actually experienced it. So the folks out there that have not experienced this, I don't blame you. I don't blame you if you're skeptical. And there's a lot of noise on the internet that talks about this, and people just don't know what the hell they're talking about. They are just parroting other people. And I got to tell you, when I see a teenage girl all duded up talking about these things, I'm taking it for a grain of salt, because are not something you just should just talk about because it's cool or trendy. This is something that is bigger than this experience we have right now. It's indescribable, and for the few that have actually experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to boil these down to two different categories. We're going to be talking about astral projecting, and we're going to be talking about outer body experience, because they're not the same. They're two different things. Now, an outer body experience, I've experienced that one time, and I've experienced a verifiable astral projection experience one time. The outer body experience is you've heard it, I'm sure, before, is you're leaving your body, you can see your body, you're hovering over yourself. You may go out to your mailbox or down the hallway and think you're going to the bathroom or whatever. That's more common. And then there's the astral projection, the actual guided travel to a distant place. You're traveling, you're going somewhere away from where you're at, and usually there's a reason behind it. Usually it's to go see somebody. In my situation, it was a loved one that was still alive that I hadn't talked to in maybe 3 months, 2 or 3 months, and they called me out of the blue. Long story short, I brought up this bizarro experience. They were a little freaked out. They thought I was doing some sort of, they're from Christian background. They thought I was doing some sort of devil worship and everything like that. So understandably, it was scary because I described everything, what they were doing, right down to the clothes they were wearing, the whatever, everything. And I don't want to get into, I don't want to talk about an hour of the intense detail of what I experienced on that, because this isn't what this is about. This is about people who are posting videos talking about astral projection and outer body experience, and they have no idea what they're talking about. An outer body experience is you're simply leaving your body. Astral projection, you're traveling somewhere. You could have an outer body experience that once guides are involved, where you're being guided by another world being, then that is then now an astral projection, where you may be guided to the afterlife or wherever you go. There's a guide that takes you there. Then a lot of people, they'll experience meeting loved ones that have passed on, which I actually have. I met some loved ones that passed on, and I specifically asked when I said, "Is this really you?" And they said, "No, it's a representation of love and everything." So I believe that because this was it was a verified experience, they even sent me photos talking about the person I went and visited. I'm in Washington State. They were in California. Hadn't talked to them forever. They were at a specific venue, a unique venue, like I didn't even know anything about. They sent me photographs because they were doing some modeling and promoting kind of thing. So I believed it. Because I experienced this myself, I believe it now. And so if you're watching this and you don't believe it, cool, because I wouldn't either. When I got up there and there was a representation of somebody that I loved so much that had passed on, the universe, I think, made that a form in my experience, and I specifically said, you're not really my dead mother, are you? And they were just truthful. They just, yeah, you're right. This is basically a manifestation of love. We want to know that you're loved, the universe loves you, and you're going to be okay. Anyway, it was a very emotional thing that I went through. So the point is that people are getting on YouTube and they're talking about how to astral project, and you lay down and you're on your back and you do this meditation. You're going to start feeling a pull and all this stuff. Guys, all it is just meditation. You're just meditating. It's just a meditation technique. Your body's an antenna and your mind is that conscious experience. So when you're going to another conscious experience than this frequency that we're on, there's ways of doing that. You can do it in deep meditation. You can tap into some subconscious things that are, your conscious mind's blocking out. We all know it's about 10 or 15% of your mind is actually conscious for a lot of survival reasons. When you get snapped back into that dream state, you're not like getting pulled back from an astral projection experience. Your conscious mind on a primal level believes that it's dying and something's going wrong, so it snaps you back into being in this conscious state right here. Anyway, listen to people who have verifiable experiences that you know personally, because everybody else, I wouldn't really, even myself, if you're watching this video, and if there are people that are like totally spacey and just like, already kind of like mystical type people, I'm sorry, but that already is a red flag for me to not totally believe what that person is saying, because if you tack on an astral projection experience, then it's going to make it even more authentic. If there's people that was a truck driver that had this experience and it was verifiable, that's somebody that you might want to ask more about the way to get to those levels and what had happened and everything like that. But if you're talking to somebody who's, already way into this stuff and everything, and they just have story after story about their experience and stuff, and they're clouding astral projection and outer body experience, and they don't know the difference, and they think if you lay on your bed and you meditate for a while, then all of a sudden you're going to be shot into some whatever thing. Everybody closes their eyes, and when they get into this huge relaxed state of mind, visuals will start to swirl in your head, and you'll feel, if you're still and everything, you'll feel a disconnect from your body. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be whisked off away by a tour conductor, whatever you want to call it, and they're going to take you to see people, loved ones, or see important things that's going to help you help somebody else or change your life. And another thing is if you're scared about doing these types of things, you're already not going to be able to get in. You go through these levels. As you're going through them, if you have an ego, if you're scared, if you're worried that this is satanic or whatever, you're not going to make it past the first few levels, because your mind, your consciousness isn't ready to get to those levels. A lot of people will take psychedelics, and their experience they'll see a lot of kaleidoscope colors and everything, and they never have gone any further than that. It's because your mind isn't ready to go any further. So you stay at the carnival. You watch the colorful show, and it's fun and it's neat, and it may inspire you to do art. You may look at the world a little bit different and understand that a lot of things have been influenced by that stuff, but you're not going to get any higher than that. So if you go into it with preconceived notions and beliefs and fears and everything, that's about as far as you're going to get. And if you go into it willing to essentially sacrifice yourself to this experience and say, okay, and you're going to be tested, hey, you want to take the easy road or you want to take the hard road? And you always go towards the hard road. The person is mentally sound enough to experience on to the next levels. So anyway, I hope this video helped. I hope it kind of clears the air. If you have any questions, post them down below. I have a verifiable astral projecting experience. I have an unverifiable outer body experience because there was nothing to verify. I didn't float up high enough to the ceiling to look above my lamp, my ceiling lamp, and see a number that somebody wrote on there that I've never seen, and then I checked it, and it was really there. So, an outer body experience, that's awesome. But I'm more interested in verifiable astral projecting experiences that another human being can say, wow, that's pretty fucked up because that was really what happened. I was really there. I can't believe it. And by the way, I have photographs to prove to you that you are spying on me or something weird's going on. So that's the kind of astral projecting that I'm interested in, because everything else it could be just all kinds of things. Man, the human mind is an amazing thing, and I think that when you start labeling yourself with some sort of religious belief, any type of religion, even Wiccan, is supposed to be more along this types of lines of things, then you're going to you have these constructs, these beliefs and stuff, and when you try to hit these levels, even obsessing over how to get to these different levels, you're not going to be ready for a situation when you actually are presented with something that will freak you out or contradicts what all the trendy people are saying on how to get to these levels. So you got to go in it with an open mind, go in it with no beliefs, and just say, my body's an antenna, and here's my consciousness. Let's see where this goes. Let's see where this goes. Be humble, and don't think you know what you're doing, because you don't know what you're doing. Leave your ego at the door, and don't be so quick to want to tell everybody, because once you feel like you want to talk to people about it, what you're ending up doing is that's the ego, because it's not like you want to share because you think this is gonna you have to really question your motives. And when you start thinking that this is going to be something that's going to make me look cooler, or increase my status as a spiritual person, or validate my Christian, Islam, Wiccan, Jewish, whatever beliefs, it's not going to work. You have to go in thinking this is going to be something I'm going to keep to myself. I'm not going to tell anybody. Why am I doing this? It's not because I want to tell other people or brag. This happened. The astral projection experience happened years ago. The minute I started thinking I wanted to tell my best friend, not because I thought it was going to like open his mind to new spiritual levels, but the fact that I can't believe this just happened, I got to tell my friend. That's the ego talking. So teenagers, a lot of them aren't going to be ready for this. And so like I said, when I see a teenage girl talking about this stuff, I'll do it up on YouTube. That's hard to believe, that's really happening, and you're getting tens of thousands of hits because you're cute, and then everybody goes, oh wow, that's a really cool experience, and then they have all these preconceived notions on what this experience is. So I'm not hating on you, just that's cool, just don't buy into the hype. And it's a personal thing, and if you're believing a bunch of stuff you read on YouTube and everything, you maybe need to step back and reevaluate the whole thing, and you maybe really need to ask yourself, why do you even want to astral project or do an out-of-body experience in the first place? Is it because it's entertaining, it's fascinating? You probably will never make it to those levels if it's just entertaining, fascinating. There's people that will have a real spiritual longing that they really just know that they're ready for some sort of spiritual enlightenment, and you're at the point where you just don't care anymore. You just know you need a spiritual enlightenment, a spiritual change, or something in your life, and that's when it might happen. And the fact that you feel that way and then you're expecting something to happen even then. So I was born and raised a Jehovah's Witness. It's a real hardcore Christian type belief. My mother passed away because of the blood transfusion belief. She passed away when I was 4. And then after I started researching, really questioning my beliefs, I eventually became kind of a bitter atheist. So when I went into this whole thing, I said, you know what, I'm going to have an open mind, because I really feel like there's some sort of spiritual hunger that I have. Maybe something will help me out here. But I went in with no beliefs, because I didn't believe any of it. I was totally a skeptic. I didn't believe anything. I was, I'm like, yeah, right, show me the evidence. And so I think what happened was the universe made a point to make the experience verifiable, to say, hey, we love you, the universe loves you, and here, let's satisfy your skepticism. And also, there was a message that I had to give to that person, that they were going down the wrong path, and that person is tied in with some family that's very important to me. So I think the whole thing was that they're kind of killing two birds with one stone. But again, I don't know. I just know that my experience is authentic, and you're going to have to experience yourself. I wish you guys all the best of luck. If you have any questions, put them down below. If this is ringing true to you somehow, thumbs up it, whatever. But I hope the best of luck to everybody, and peace out.